So let's start with the speed test, guys. Both the phones are connected to the same Wi-Fi networks, as you can see, and everything is closed in the background. So let's start with basic applications first, starting with phone dialer. That was faster on iPhone, faster on 11 Pro Max. Now let's move on to settings. That was about the same on both the devices. Now let's move on to calendar. That was faster on 11 Pro Max. Now let's move on to calculator. That was slightly faster on 11 Pro Max. Now let's move on to clock. That was again faster on 11 Pro Max, and you can see the difference between animations on both these devices, as you can see. And the A23 actually has a 90 Hz display, so it actually feels slightly smoother as compared to iPhone 11 Pro Max on the right. Now let's move on to Amazon. That was slightly faster on Galaxy A23. Now let's move on to Play Store App Store. That was again faster on Galaxy A23. Now let's move on to My Geo. That was slightly faster on 11 Pro Max. Now let's move on to Speedtest. That was faster on 11 Pro Max. Now let's move on to Google Maps. That was faster on 11 Pro Max, as you can see. Now let's move on to YouTube. That was again faster on A23. Now let's move on to Microsoft 365. That was faster on A23. Now let's move on to Mata. That was faster on 11 Pro Max. Now let's move on to some basic applications, starting with Subway Surfers. That was slightly faster on A23. Now let's move on to Temple Run. And for basic games, both of these phones will be similar in performance, but as you move on to high-end games, the iPhone will be slightly faster. As you can see, that was faster on Galaxy A23. So that was a speed comparison between both these devices. In some applications, the A23 is faster, and in some other, the iPhone 11 Pro Max is faster. Now let's move on to RAM management, and the A23 which I have here has 8 GB RAM, and the 11 Pro Max comes with 4 GB of RAM. So let's see how is the RAM management on both of these devices. Start with phone dialer. That was refreshed on 11 Pro Max. Settings. That was, I guess, refreshed on A23. Calendar. That was refreshed on A23. Calculator. That was kept in memory by both the devices. Clock. That was kept in memory by both the devices. Amazon. That was kept in memory of both the devices. Play Store App Store. That was kept in memory by both the devices. My Geo. That was kept in memory by both the devices. That was also kept in memory by both the devices. Google Maps. That was also kept in memory by both the devices. That was also kept in by both the devices. Microsoft. That was also kept in memory by both the devices. That was also kept in memory by both the devices. Same here, and Temple Run. So as you can see, the RAM management is pretty similar on both the devices, but as you get more application in memory, I guess the A23 will keep more application as it has double the RAM that of the 11 Pro Max. So that was a speed test comparison between both of these devices, guys, and do let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.